Chapter 9. Brazen Cerberus. Before Seven even set foot in the legendary pyramid of Tecuma, the world seemed to tilt on its axis. A pulse of raw awe surged through him, as if the very bones of the earth were singing beneath his skin. The pyramid rose like a dream conjured by gods. Its titanic silhouette sliced the sky, stair-stepped sides veined with rivers of molten garnet and dusted with sunlit gold. Each block was a titan's secret, etched with living runes and glyphs that shimmered and shifted, channeling power so ancient it hummed in the marrow of the land. This was no mere monument. It was a living heart, beating with the memory of every battle, every triumph and sacrifice of the Garnet warriors, a fortress born from the marriage of magic and myth, defiance and destiny. As Seven crossed the threshold, a warm, electric wind enveloped him, heavy with the scent of sacred incense, sun-baked stone, and wildflowers from other realms. His gaze was immediately seized by the twin colossi flanking the entrance, statues so exquisitely wrought they seemed poised to inhale and speak. Their gemstone eyes burned with shifting inner storms of light, judging and inviting all at once. These silent giants radiated the ancestral power and vigilant spirit of the Garnet warriors, each one a guardian forged from the dreaming bedrock of legend. The warriors, with manes of long, locked hair that appeared to ripple with invisible wind, radiated regal authority and fierce pride. Towering and meticulously carved from shimmering black opal, the statues caught the shifting light, refracting dazzling spectrums of red, violet, and indigo across the threshold. Every detail was rendered with masterful care, broad shoulders set in an unyielding posture of vigilance, chiseled chests and sculpted arms poised for battle, and hands gripping weapons inscribed with protective sigils, their locks twisted from beneath ornate battle helmets, each helmet a masterpiece of ceremonial craftsmanship, adorned with tribal glyphs that glowed softly and pulsated in time with the heartbeat of the pyramid itself. Embedded garnet inlays radiated crimson light, casting surreal patterns across the marble floor. Their stern expressions, fiercely protective, seemed almost animated, lips pressed into solemn lines, brows furrowed with eternal vigilance, giving the uncanny impression that they might leap from their stony perches at any provocation. They were clad in ceremonial armor, inscribed with a tapestry of sacred symbols from the esteemed Baki clan, each glyph shimmering with latent power and recounting past victories, great sacrifices, and cosmic pacts. This lineage was deeply intertwined with the history of the Garnet warriors, the armor itself appearing to radiate invisible waves of ancestral magic and cosmic justice, bridging the mortal realm with the divine. The symbols, alive with their own shifting glow, reflected not only the rich history and culture of the Garnet warriors, but also whispered promises of protection and retribution. Seven found himself utterly spellbound by the statue's overwhelming presence, feeling as if he stood before living guardians of ancient lore, beings whose knowledge and judgment could shape the fate of their world, and whose gaze weighed the worth of every soul who passed beneath their shadow. Venturing deeper, Seven discovered a labyrinth that pulsed with living history. The gold-plated walls glittered with ancient hieroglyphics, their meanings layered and enigmatic, far older than the oldest Sumerian tablets. Each corridor was a gallery of wonders, carvings depicting prehistoric beasts, hydras, thunderbirds, and spectral lions, locked in battle with ancestors of the Baki clan. Some reliefs shimmered as Seven passed, animated by spells that brought battles and rituals to life in spectral flashes. The air was thick with the scent of incense and old parchment, and every step seemed to echo with the footsteps of countless warriors before him. These walls were true portals to a distant past, unveiling secrets of supernatural lore, hidden prophecies, lost magics, and the interconnected realms of the Shadowlands, the celestial plane, and unnamed dimensions that stretched beyond mortal comprehension. Following Birak, Seven marveled at the pyramid's astonishing fusion of technology and sorcery, a seamless blend of ancient magic and futuristic innovation. Veins of light ran through the floors and ceilings, pulsing with the color and viscosity of molten garnet, casting the corridors in an otherworldly glow that shifted with their movements. Runes etched into the walls flickered and rearranged themselves in response to thoughts and intentions. At the same time, transparent panels displayed shifting constellations, maps of distant realms, and the faces of long-lost ancestors. Soft, ambient light beckoned them deeper, mingling with the hum of unseen machinery and the faint whisper of incantations. As they followed winding paths through interconnected halls, each turn revealed new marvels. Levitating platforms, holographic archives, and gardens of crystalline plants that resonated with harmonic chimes when brushed. The journey culminated at the pit, a legendary battleground that filled Seven with a mingled sense of dread and exhilaration. The pit was an impressive arena, its outer edge lined with tall logs burning with blue-black flames. The firelight flickered over carved stone, casting images of old battles and famous duels onto the floor. The grandstands, made from darkwood with silver and garnet, rose in steep rows and were packed with warriors and their apprentices. Faces were painted with tribal markings or hidden by ceremonial robes. Eyes shone with anticipation, and the air buzzed with the crowd's energy. Songs and chants filled the stands, joined by the steady beat of drums and the sharp sound of horns. The whole place felt alive with excitement and respect, as if every heartbeat was part of something historic. At the center of the arena, Rua Baki greeted Seven and Berak with respect. Berak, dressed in elaborate celestial clothes, snapped his fingers and changed his outfit in a flash. His royal clothes became a sleek black suit, and his hooded black and garnet cloak now matched Seven's, adding a twist to the moment. "Much better. Now I can move without worrying about tripping," Berak said, grinning widely and showing off a mouthful of sparkling jewels. "Just a reminder, Berak, Seven has to face all 32 warriors alone, without your help," Ruabaki said, raising an eyebrow. "Fine, I'll sit on my own throne," Berak laughed, twirling his wrist and pointing to a comfortable spot just outside the pit. With a flourish, Berak created a golden throne on polished graphite. He sat down right away, looking both regal and playful as he waited for the show to begin. "Berak, since you're the elder, why not be the referee? You'd have the best seat, and it would make you look great in the spotlight," Shabaka called out, grinning and hoping to impress him. "Really? Can I do that?" Berak asked, his excitement clear at the idea of using his magic in a new way. "Absolutely, but make sure you keep it fair," Ruabaki said. "Don't worry, I'm as fair as they come. Besides, I want to see Seven take on a tough opponent. You might all have your hands full. My money's on the kid," Berak said confidently. As the energy in the pit grew, cheers and the sound of flames surrounded Seven, building up to the coming fight. Seven prepared himself, knowing every heartbeat was part of the arena's long history. The stage was set for something legendary, and he was ready to make his mark among the Garnet warriors. With a thunderous crash, Pollux and Chance broke through the sanctuary's ancient floor, sending shards of stained glass and splinters of wood flying. They expected to land on the stone slabs of the church basement, but instead fell into a vast, dark abyss. The world above vanished, replaced by a twisting underground maze. The tunnel walls were lined with blackened roots and slick with moisture, lit only by the faint glow of fungi on the ceiling. Shadows danced over the uneven ground, which was scattered with bones, broken relics, and rotting vestments from old rituals. The air was thick and heavy, filled with the sharp smell of sulphur, and something even older, a sense of ancient malice that seemed to come from the stones themselves. Every step felt like moving deeper into the mouth of some ancient beast, the sanctuary above quickly fading from memory. At a sudden fork in the tunnel, they paused for a moment before quickly choosing separate paths, driven by urgency. Chance handed Pollux an earpiece and turned right, moving with determination. Pollux braced himself and took the left tunnel, feeling both fear and excitement. Each step echoed in the darkness, raising the tension as they entered unknown territory. They carefully searched for any clues that might lead them to Sebastian, alert to the tunnel's strange atmosphere. As Pollux moved through the dim, winding passage, he was struck by the many tunnels branching out in all directions, like veins in a huge underground heart. Cold water dripped from the ceiling, echoing in the darkness. The rough walls, marked with mineral streaks, were carved with old symbols, signs of protection and forgotten curses. Each intersection seemed to breathe out cold, stale air that made his skin prickle. Even though he felt nervous, Pollux kept going, driven by curiosity and the need to find answers in this hidden world. Suddenly, desperate cries for help echoed down the corridor, breaking the silence and sending chills through him. "Is that a ghost? A banshee?" Pollux wondered, feeling both excited and scared as his heart raced with the cries echoing off the stone walls. The smell of damp earth and the sound of dripping water filled the air as the darkness pressed in,